a brand of any size.
It's the new word of mouth marketing.
This is Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. We are the #1 business show on the planet with over 1 million downloads a month. Taking the BS out of business for over 6 years and over 400 episodes. You ready to start snapping necks and cashing checks? Well, it starts right about now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Right About Now. We're always keeping it right for you. You know we're right. The website's ryanisright.com. That's why I bring the best and the brightest from around the globe. Coming from London today. We're all over the planet. We got you covered, baby. We're talking all about sponsorships, NIL. Have anybody heard of that? I'm going to go there with our guest. We're going to tell you what that means, but ultimately, it's about getting value for your marketing dollar. We got Ishveen Jolly. She is the CEO and co-founder of Open Sponsorship. What's up, Ishveen?
Hey, Ryan. Thanks for the intro.
Yeah. Hey, we're in this marketing game together. We got to stick together.
Love it. I love it.
I know it's a fascinating world out there. Navigating new media, the new stars, the new spokesperson, all the people. You got all the changing laws and rules with what happened with NIL in the U.S. I want to get down that path, but at the end of the day, it's about. I always say this, Ishveen, people have never been more aware that they're being marketed to. They know. And so you've got to be more authentic and you've got to use their peers to sort of get to them. That's what I really love about what you guys are doing with Open Sponsorship. Let's set the table for everyone, and they can go check out your YouTubes and all the stuff there. Ishveen's got all the accolades in the world. Let me just tell you, I'll let her mention a few of them when she describes herself. Very accomplished. And her journey stories are out there, so we won't go that. We want to keep it real raw and interesting about the topic. But Ishveen, do set the table and, give everybody a little synopsis of Open Sponsorship and, give a little bit of the brag reel. Come on.
No, thank you. Well, I suppose very quickly, because I do love the marketing stuff more as well, but started Open Sponsorship about 10 years ago. I used to be a sports agent. Prior to that, my background in sports, I played a lot growing up. I captained multiple teams while at university, and then kind of fell into sponsorship and then fell in love. I just thought, what a wonderful form of marketing. Of course, like sponsorship today, is it influencer marketing? Is it affiliate marketing? Is it PR? There's so many kind of crosses with the other verticals, but really fell in love with sponsorship. The idea that like your brand could leverage another brand for 1 + 1 = like 50 kind of thing. And obviously the fact that the money goes into sports, which I'm very passionate about, or entertainment, music, which I'm really passionate about. And so started that 10 years ago. Fast forward today, very lucky to have received quite a lot of accolades. I suppose highlights are we have Serena Williams as an investor, one of our lead investors. We have 19,000 athletes and influencers today. We work with brands like the Walmarts or Reebok or whoever else, and it's just fabulous. We run a small team that's mostly all in the US, and it's really rewarding. But yeah.
What's considered the home base of Open Sponsorship? Is there one
Yeah.
of Open Sponsorship?
So we headquartered in New York for the longest time until COVID, very US focused. I personally just like to live in London, but the business is in the US. I love working in the US market. Obviously, I get to meet people like yourself with all your great energy. And so, US is our base for multiple reasons. Love the marketing dollars, of course, the budget's there, but also just the willingness to try something new. And as a small company competing with bigger agencies, which I'm sure we could exchange notes, like the American market is very much like, all right, we'll give you a little bit. If you prove yourself, you get more, and it's quick turnarounds. I love that.
Yeah. It's a fascinating industry. I came up in marketing and sponsorship was part of what we did for Verizon and the NFL. Helped shepherd in that agreement. That was $1 billion sponsor. That's not a big sponsorship deal. I worked on that one for about 3 years. And it is, though, a very fascinating and sort of, I don't know, I love what you said about the one and one, the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. It's something like the amplification that happens when a great sponsor, a great brand, and a great entertainer, athlete, influencer, whatever it is, comes together. It's like magic, isn't it?
100%. And I think the biggest thing is just like the extension of that piece of content or that partnership across all the other marketing channels and the sales channels, and the impact it has on like your employee base or whatever else. And so like it's the fact that I don't think there's anything like it where sponsoring an athlete, using an athlete, and today it's never been cheaper because you literally can pay them to do one Instagram story for a few $100, but then you can take that and suddenly scream and tell the world, this is what we do. And you put it in your PR, you put it on your website, you put it in your own personal LinkedIn, you tell your team members all of this, and the amplification and the ripple effect of all of it is so huge.
Yes. And it's, I love, we're getting into really fast and nitty gritty, but I love it because Ishveen, you just nailed it. We've worked with a lot of brands. I've been on both sides of it. I own a digital agency, I own a podcast network. And then now, I mean, I hate even using my word in the name influencer, but got a good following, good show. And so I'm on all sides of it. And it pains me when we've like worked with brands and they don't atomize it and use it the way you just said. Like, I'm like, I just gave you gold, or one of my clients, or we gave you gold and you treated it like silver. Like, it's like, why didn't you use it all over the place? It's like, it doesn't need to just live within the influencer's channel. You got to amplify it. That's such a miss, isn't it? Sometimes.
100%. And this is why, we talked about it slightly when we were kind of chatting before that. We started off, I created Open Sponsorship with my co-founder as the LinkedIn, the Airbnb, the Match.com of the industry. We were like, right, we're going to help you find the person, connect, boom, done. And then we realized in the journey that if you're on like a dating site or like a job recruitment site or something, if you get the match, that's success. But people were coming to us and they're like, great, you're great, but what the outcome wasn't. The ROI wasn't there. And I was like, shit, I need to start thinking about the ROI on these deals, because otherwise we're just going to see all of these guys like trying it once and leaving. And then we did what you did. We started trying to build into what you were saying. We tried to build into the platform. Have you thought about doing this? And have you thought about doing this and share this? And then we realized people just either don't have the time, the knowledge, or whatever else. And so that's kind of why about 3 years ago, we were like, you know what? We're going to get rid of the self-service. We're going to be completely full service. We're going to be like an extension of your team. And we're going to like we're going to do it for you. Great examples. Like a few months ago, I was speaking to my team. Now, I didn't even know that they did this, but like they'll go to like a tool like CapCut and they'll put music overlay and the text overlay onto a video. And I was like, you do that for our clients? And they're like, yeah, but it's just like, it's harder to get them to do it and teach them and say, oh, this video would be so much more effective. They're like, we'll just do it for them and it'll take a few seconds. And so I think like what I've realized is it's whatever the brand's reason is to not do, it's ultimately our problem. And so there's no point doing these partnerships if you're not going to make it happen. Yes.
And what you realize is the total, I don't know, it's the total filling the entire circle in. Okay, is not just connecting brand to influencer. Yeah. It's all the magic in between, making sure the content gets done, making sure the content gets used, make it, you got to lead them to the water and make them drink it.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, yeah.
It's true. And because ultimately it's what makes it work. And the only way for it to keep happening and to have success is if it works, right?
100%.
Yeah, I love that. And it's an interesting pivot. I mean, I've definitely seen with like the athletes, especially, they can get all these deals. They want the deals, but creating the content's like the hardest part, isn't it? How many emails have been sent with, we got to get content for this brand?
Yeah, and making it not look like it was like read off a script. or that they're being forced
exactly.
to do it. Definitely a challenge that still exists. I think, again, going back to the point, like, what are you using them for? So if what you want is content creation and great UGC to put in ads, don't use that guy who never does reels and like is a little bit stiff. But if what you want is to be able to say that you sponsor the quarterback of Clemson, then great. Then, you know, or whatever else, then, and I think that's the other thing is I realize that a lot of times when and I do this as a CEO with a marketing budget, you conflate everything. You're like, you start off going, I want a testimonial. And then 5 weeks later, you're like, oh, but it didn't produce sales. And you're like, well, that was never the goal. And so I think it's really important. Again, the benefit of being hand in hand is like, you can keep saying, reminder, this was the goal of this campaign. This was the goal of this partnership. If you want to change the goal, we got to change the creative. We might need to change the person. We've got to change the deliverables. So it's like, like a great example is if you want sales, Reels doesn't allow you to have a link.
Yeah.
It's not going to produce sales. But if you want a brand awareness piece, stories disappear after 24 hours. Very, very different. Which one do you want?
Yeah. I'm going to go down that path with you here. But since you brought up Clemson, I mean, did you know I was a Clemson guy?
No, I didn't.
I graduated from Clemson. I'm a Clemson grad. Yes, wow. Tigers, Kate Klubnik. Yeah. Is he on your platform? The quarterback?
Don't ask me questions about individuals. I'm sorry.
Oh, I won't go there. I know. He should be. He's going to win the Heisman this year.
I'm going to say the answer is yes, because I have faith in my team.
Yes, I have faith too. We'll get him on there if he's not. So I always have this trepidation. So I want to see if you share it. You know, I don't know about you, but awareness is not free. And, you know, the age-old influencer deals for affiliate deals for, you know, percentage of sales is great. But what I've never understood about that whole equation as a marketer and an influencer is why the hell would you give away free awareness? You know, like nobody gets to get free awareness. Like Verizon and AT&T, you see those commercials over and over and over again, and they don't know if they're generating sales. Television is not direct to consumer, not, you know, but because they know they have to feed the top of the funnel to get to the bottom. But for some reason, influencers, and I'm sure you guys are working big athletes where maybe this isn't as big of a problem anymore, but why the hell should I give you free awareness? And if I drive you a sale, do I get paid? Who made that rule up? And it's not the rule for everything. I know the big guys get paid, but you know what I'm saying? It just seems like that's at a false reality of what you have to spend as a marketing and as a brand. I
love what you say. We don't do as many of those deals, to be honest, but we also count product has value. So I'd say cash is king, product is second, then really equity if you've got it, and then it's royalty, exactly what you're saying. So we basically do 0 royalty only deals with no product. And when people say to us royalty, I say do a deal for product. And if it works, if there's alignment, if you like their work, if they like you, then fine, talk about a longer term deal with royalties. But the expectation that you're going to come in and get good things. Now, let's talk about then why is it happening? Well, obviously TikTok Shop is changing the whole game because they've got this whole thing. I don't think it happens that much on Meta or wherever else. It might be on Amazon. And if I was going to play like devil's advocate, like why is it happening? Well, why is it not happening to us so much? Is because athletes, this is not their primary job. Yeah. But if you're a content creator, let's say on TikTok, firstly, you need content to post 3 times a day. Yeah. So if you get paid like $20 for a video, or like you're going to just generate a bit of sales, like 1, 2, this is your job. So you need to figure out ways to, because like those brand awareness dollars are drying up if you don't produce, if you don't have a viewpoint. And that's why I love the space that we're in, because, you know, I used to say, we're not influencer marketing, we're sports sponsorship. And then obviously I was like, all right, we're influencer marketing and sports sponsorship is kind of, Yeah, exactly. Well, if you're the buyer and you buy influence marketing, I'm here for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Frankly, but I'd
it.
also say, like, with the rise of the athlete and the celebrity and the TV star all becoming better value, I think it's hard for someone who's not famous for a reason to make money from brand awareness.
Yeah.
And they're probably the ones doing the affiliate deals.
I know. And I understand it. It more drives the shit out of me that brands sort of expect it, like more than they should, I think. And I get that the dollars have gotten to where they want it. Look, we need outcomes. But if your funnel's not good, it doesn't have anything to do with how good my read is.
100%.
And so if I do a read, how do we know that the vacuum cleaner I'm pushing doesn't get sold 3 weeks from now and I get no attribution for it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I wish there were more, and we've done a few of these. I wish the deals were like more creatively set up. So it's like, okay, what does your funnel look like? I can guarantee you this amount of traffic. Let's pay for that. And then let's do royalties on top of. So it de-risks you. It gives me a bit of upside, but there's also, like you said, if your website crashes on that day, like, I shouldn't be held. And also I say this to our brands, like, we're not in the business of understanding your competitive set, your pricing, your packaging, like your flavors. So we can't predict the success, but what we can, but I do feel like there's probably a myth that it's like no guarantee or sales. Ideally, it should be like a guarantee of something within funnel.
Yep.
And that would be easy, right, Ryan? Because then you'd be like, well, if I don't hit it, I'll just do 2 extra ad reads for free. And if I do
exactly. We'll hit it.
Yeah.
We'll deliver it, but it can't just be bottom line sales, but because there's just too many complications. I mean, I'm not saying never. It depends on like you said earlier, trying to get an Instagram reel to drive sales. Good luck. I mean, you got to have a really tight funnel, or like, because friction is the enemy of influencer deals. And what do I mean by that? From knowledge to click, from influence to sale has to be super clean.
I think also the other thing is like, then what, like you said, awareness or whatever else, what that also does is it like goes against everything we were saying before, which is like the value is also in like using that ad read and putting it in paid ads, posting on LinkedIn, posting it organically, doing a marketing email and being like, hey, did you see us on this podcast? Like, did you or putting it, like using it in PR. And so by trying to make it free, you're basically saying it's got no value anywhere else other than the influencer's channel, which is like the wrong way to think about it. So that whole thing doesn't really work. But I think what needs to happen is almost like there needs to be a very separated approach, like your your macro, and what does that look like? Or whether it's macro or micro or like strategies and buckets. And it's like, this is my royalty only people, but these are my people who do something else. And these are my people, and they've all got different goals. And that's what we've been trying to work on with our clients, where we're like, your product only deal is for a testimonial, a review for you to use. It's not going to drive sales because they've probably got less than 5,000 followers.
Yep. That's
this
right.
person, they're going to produce content that you're going to put in your paid ads, that you're going to be proud of, blah, blah, blah.
I think there needs to be a college course or a re-education of the brand marketers out there, a course put on by Ryan Alford and Ishveen Jolly.
I love it. And it's going to be royalty based only.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, talking to Ishveen Jolly. She's the co-founder and CEO of Open Sponsorships, making it accessible to everyone. I think it's interesting serving the brand, serving the athletes. You got to serve both if you want to eat. Like they're both part of the equation. I mean, they're both the main course. They're both equally important. Is it ever feel like you have to, who am I serving first?
I'd say, having been in the sponsorship game a long time, if you have the brand dollars, the right brand with the right dollars, you can make any deal happen.
Yeah.
And so we needed enough base to say like, hey, brand, become interested. But really, the last 8 out of 10 years, it's been servicing the brand. But when we feel like we built a mobile app, and that was predominantly with the focus of the athletes and the agents, because we realized that they're on the go, they don't sit at a desktop all day, they want to upload content from their phone, you know, all of that stuff, right? And so we've actually probably built more tech, it's like the tech is 50-50, but the service is probably 75 brand, 25 athlete agent. And it goes back to the fact that at the end of the day, well, one is we work with a lot of agents, so they do part of the servicing. And two is, you know, we've had companies approach us for partnerships and they're like, hey, we've got this great business, put it in front of your athletes. And we're like, look, our athletes come to us for sponsorship, for marketing dollars. They're not coming to us for like a merchandise line or to launch a Shopify. Like maybe we'd get there, but to be honest, if we didn't give them brand dollars, they'd be like, why am I here?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know why you go to Uber, you know why you go to Airbnb, you know what. So I think we've been very clean and clear that we're not trying to give you, we're not trying to do everything for you, athlete and agent. We're trying to do this. And to do this, we need to have the brands. And once we have and you know, right at the beginning, we had very small brands. You know, you're a smaller company, you don't have any notable names. And they love it now. We just did a great campaign for Live Golf in Miami. And they're like, oh, yeah, we want to work with Live and we want to work with Western Union and we want to work with Drunk Elephant. And so they love it when we bring them better brands. So they respect the fact that, like, that's our job. And we just give you great deals.
Who's the marketing funnel for Open? I mean, for you guys, like, are you out? You got to pitch both, right? You going after the athletes and the brands, right?
Yeah, we again probably the same thing. So dollars wise, we focus on the brand. And then what we tend to do is, because we have like so many athletes now, like, you know, like we've got like 80% of the NFL, we've got thousands of college athletes, we've got loads of influencers. So when we need to fill a brand campaign that we don't have, like we've now moved into different verticals. So we just ran a campaign with a Costco vegan Parmesan cheese brand, and they wanted foodie influencers who drive Costco sales. So like we'll go out and get new people, but to fulfill a campaign. Kind of like what I was saying about podcasts. So like if one of our brands like, we're actually interested in podcasts, we're like, cool, we'll go out and get like opportunities for you. In terms of our marketing dollars, I'd say very brand focused. But actually, I don't know how you feel about this or what you've seen on your side of the table, but we are more focused now on retention and growing our existing client base than new clients. Like we've really flipped our focus because we would rather like completely service you and get more of your growing influencer budget outside of sports, or get your podcast budget or get your events budget, than having to sign another person and starting from scratch and proving ourselves.
I have a book that's halfway written, and you know how they, the old term LTV, lifetime value.
Yeah.
It's the name of the book is Lifetime Loss. In a world hyper-focused on growth, the customer you already have is the biggest secret to your success. You got to nurture it. You got CRM, baby. I mean, customer relationship management and nurturing what you already have is the name of the game, because you take care of them. There's always more budget, especially if it's a good customer. There's always referrals behind the door number 2. And it's real damn hard to get a new customer, and it's real damn hard to replace a great one.
It's also like, it just feels so good to produce wins for customers. Like, I think about 5 years ago, it felt good to sign new customers. That, like what you're saying, the whole thing was like growth and customer acquisition, and that's what the world is all about. And now it feels so good when someone tells us something worked. Yeah. I just love the feeling of being able to go like, we actually produce something for that person.
I pivoted my whole company based on that. Like I've been doing digital advertising, advertising agency life for 20 plus years. Left that world because I got tired of the ivory tower. I was the creative account guy, and I'm like, I'm going to do my own thing, and saw the video thing coming. And, we did that successfully for 7 years. But the last couple of years, I've felt like no matter what we did, I didn't feel like the clients appreciated it or saw the value in it. But we got good at the podcasting, and we found something where I knew we could deliver wins for both sides. And that's exactly right. Like it's so rewarding and fulfilling when you deliver the wins. Like if you're not in it to do that, then I don't know what the hell you're in it for.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. And helping a young athlete who's getting it going, who's, got some things going, they get a little money in their pocket. The brand sees results from it. I mean, ding, 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 right?
100%. I absolutely love it. Especially we do loads of deals in the health and wellness space and, truly authentic. And so you're even if it is a small cash thing with a bit of product, these supplements are hundreds of dollars. And if they're actually helping you achieve your goals, help you get fit, or it's a product you used to use, that's the coolest thing we can do.
Tell me, if I'm a listener out there, Ishveen, why is influencer, sponsor, why is this the it medium for helping grow a brand of any size?
I think there's a few reasons. Given that it's having such a growth moment, I think it is a few reasons. So one is it's the new word of mouth marketing, essentially, right? Word of mouth marketing, like you said, referrals used to be and still are technically the number one channel, but it's quite limited. And influencer is the new version of that. Fine, there might be people you don't know necessarily that you follow them. So I'd say, if you think word of mouth, traditional, what's it? So word of mouth, it's the new version of that. PR is still hugely important, but it is so for us, when we raised our last round and had Serena Williams and David Blitzer and some, getting PR was so much easier when you're aligned with a person. So we're all trying to sit there getting more PR. This is it. It's the new version of that. In fact, you kind of don't even need the PR because it almost is its own PR in a way. It's PR channel, doing a podcast and sponsoring an ad read. It's paid editorial. So that's second. The third is, for better or worse, we have social media. And back in the day, the biggest thing for us is back in the day, you needed to put a TV ad up. That TV ad was one spot and it would cost $1 million, let's say. You're not going to put a person in that ad unless it's a LeBron James or a Tom Brady or someone big. But now you can you don't even have to pay for production. These people are putting it out themselves. And so it's buying a million. The one thing I haven't done that I really want to still do is Super Bowl, take someone's budget instead of a Super Bowl ad on NBC, give it to us and let us do 500 NFL player deals across all and see what the return is. So I feel that's another one. And then the fourth thing is around the idea about localization and personalization. I was at a talk last week, Advertising Week, and some guy was talking about in-store retail and how when you walk around the grocery store, there's so much inventory and they're going to start putting digital banners in inventory, and that's going to be the place. And it completely made sense. And then they gave the one case study of their best case study, and it was Dale Earnhardt Jr. on a little thing with Hellman's mayonnaise, and when you walk past, he would speak and go, "How are you doing your mayo for 4th of July?" And they were talking about the results of this. But let's be very clear. That is because it's him. It was local to that market where was it? Probably Indiana. I don't know, somewhere wherever. Probably
it's where I'm at in South Carolina.
Yeah, probably.
A lot of NASCAR lovers in North Carolina and South Carolina.
Exactly. Yes. So it was a local store, and that is probably like that, the cost of that versus doing a TV ad, which they might not have seen, which is not, like you said, not even connected to retail. So of course you walk past that, he interacts with you, and you use AI to do the stuff. So why influencer? It's not. I don't think the Instagram reel is the answer. I think it's the integration of people who influence you at points where they can make an impact for you at values that you could never have got them before at.
There you go. There's a little study called ZMOT, Zero Moment of Truth. That's what that is when in the store walking by, Google put that on, not yours truly. Well, $1 billion study on consumer behavior and the moment of truth, and when you hit the decision points in that. And that's what you're talking about. Hey, they're in the freaking grocery store walking. I mean, you know, how many people are putting that in the shopping cart? That's the zero moment of truth right there. And 100%. Leveraging it across. And look, attention is fleeting. There's never been more things vying for our attention. That's number one. And number two is our attention is not where it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not on linear TV. It's barely on radio. It's on these social media channels. It's on podcasting. 18 to 34-year-olds listen and watch podcasts more than they do television. That genie's not going back in the bottle. And so you have to be, and it's so funny, Ishveen, you and I think a lot alike. I use that exact word of mouth thing the other day. I was trying to describe it as like, this is the new word of mouth. It is. And because it's more authentic and it's more on that local, granular, authentic level, especially when done right. And that's the key. That's probably the hard part, of your job, I'm sure, is like that balance of, you got the right brand, you got the right athlete, but bringing all that magic together.
100%. Yeah, it's super fun.
It is fun. Where can everybody keep up with everything you're doing, learning more about open sponsorships and open sponsorship and yourself?
Yeah, well, come check us out online and sign up for a free account, play around, www.opensponsorship.com. And then if you want to have a chat, we love kind of any brand. And there's a lot of brands who are like, yeah, but it's athlete focused. And, I'm like, give us your category and we'll find a fit for you. There's literally not a vertical or a type of brand that there isn't like a fit to some sort of retired, younger, older US international athlete. And so we love making those matches happen. So yeah, come find us on LinkedIn or wherever else.
It's been a lot of fun talking, Ishveen. I'd like to do it again soon.
Thanks, Ryan. Same to you.
Hey guys, today's sponsor is the Radcast Network. If you're out there listening, thinking about starting a podcast, already have one growing, we're here to help you. Guaranteed growth, guaranteed monetization. And look, we got top 30 shows left and right from using our formula. We're ready to help you go. Go to the radcastnetwork.com. Hey guys, appreciate all our sponsors. We appreciate Ishveen. You can find all our content at ryanisright.com. Highlight clips, the full episode, and links to open sponsorship. We'll see you next time on Right About Now.
This has been Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. Visit ryanisright.com for full audio and video versions of the show or to inquire about sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening.